So every time I go through my Instagram DMs, I don't know why, it's the DMs always. There are so many questions specifically for the iPhone 6s, iPhone 7, and whether people should install iOS 14 on these devices. Now, I'll tell you first off, if you ever need help on anything, whether it's like a technology or whatever, you can always DM me on Instagram. I try to always DM back. I'm really bad at it, but that's usually the best way. These comments, I get tons of comments, but if you DM me, I can sometimes DM you back with help, or I'll just end up making a video like this and just send you the link to the video. So first of all, what I'll tell you is that I always look at 3 different things when I go and install an update on my device. Now, the very first thing I'll tell you before I even tell you those 3 things is that iOS 14 is not probably going to be as stable as iOS 13. You do get more features, it's blowing up like crazy. A ton of people are, doing TikToks about it and everything. But if you want the most stable experience, staying on a last generation OS will probably end up getting you there. iOS 13 was pretty polished towards the end of it. There were still issues, but iOS 14 is in its infancy, so you're still going to have problems with iOS 14 regardless. It can be perfect for everyone, but there can be one issue, the next version of software, iOS 14.0.1, that'll brick everyone's device, so you don't know. So with iOS 13.7, I would recommend staying there on the highest version of iOS 13 if you want the most stable version of software. But if you're okay with kind of losing a little bit of stability, losing a little bit of performance, then going up to iOS 14, by all means, I would say go for it. I've installed iOS 14 on my iPhone 6s, my iPhone 7s, my iPhone 7 Pluses, and 6s Pluses, and I've had a pretty good experience on all of them. It's very rare that I have good experience on all my devices across the board, and this is one of the first versions. There were a couple of phones that kind of, were a little weird, but for the most part, I had a pretty good experience with it. So keeping that in mind, with iOS 14, there was, a couple of things that I would, go ahead and preface you guys. And there are 3 things. So first of all, the stability. The stability is going to go down on the iPhone 6s, 7, 7 Plus, 6s Plus if you go and upgrade from iOS 13 to iOS 14. You're going to find maybe an Apple crash, or maybe things won't open properly, or it'll be a little glitchy here and there. Expect those type of things to happen, because that's going to happen regardless, okay? So if you go and update, it's not going to be as stable as iOS 13. The next thing I'm going to say is the performance. I have found pretty much on these older type of iPhones that iOS 14 is pretty much slower than iOS 13. There may be some cases where loading an app may be faster on iOS 14, but as far as I could tell from all my speed comparisons from everything that I did, iOS 13 is still faster than iOS 14, but this could change in the next couple versions of software. I would say probably within a couple of months, iOS 14 will probably end up being just as fast, if not faster, than iOS 13. But like I said, since this is the first build, official build, we're probably going to find it not being as fast as iOS 13. So expect performance to be a little bit slower coming from iOS 13 on these iPhones. Now, the battery life is the last thing that I always look at when I'm going and upgrading these devices, and I pretty much found from all of my comparisons that iOS 14 battery life was pretty much universally worse than iOS 13, but it wasn't worse by like 50% or anything. Maybe it was like a 20 to 30 minute difference when I was going and draining them all. So it's really up to you whether that's a big deal. For me, I wouldn't really care too much. I'm inside my house every day anyway, so I'm always charging my phone anyway. But if you're somebody who is always on the go and you want something that's super stable and you can't afford your phone to not be working at certain points and you don't want it to die on you, then obviously going to iOS 14 on these older iPhones is probably not the best thing to do. If you have a higher end iPhone, like an iPhone 10s or 11 or whatever, then by all means go for it. But since these older iPhones don't necessarily have the same power and the same chipsets that the iPhone 10s and iPhone 11s have, then you're probably going to have some issues. So I will tell you, if you have nothing to lose, if you just use your phone for like games and stuff, and you don't really go out of your house and you don't really rely on your phone as a crazy amount, you just text and stuff and go on TikTok and Instagram, then I think going to iOS 14 is perfectly fine. But if you're somebody who actually uses your phone for business and you call people all the time and you have a job that relies on your phone and stuff, and you have an iPhone 6s or 7, I would recommend waiting out until iOS 14.0.1 or 14.1 comes out. The longer you wait, the more stable that version of software is going to be. So hopefully I answered that question. If you guys still send me these questions on Instagram, watch this video, hopefully I'll send it to you, and then you can pretty much go from there. But that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below, or DM me on Instagram, either or the same thing. Hit the like button if you guys enjoy the video, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'd be so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.